Use this podcast to check your test. Number 1, René Descartes was the correct answer. Check your spelling. The coordinate plane is called the Cartesian coordinate plane. The coordinates of the origin are 0, 0, parentheses are needed. The two quadrants in which the x and y coordinate have different signs are 1 and 4. A coordinate on the x-axis will have a y value of 0. So any number that you can put any number you want in the x place, but the y place must have 0. When you make a table of values, you were told that you should put in -1, 0, and 1. When x is -1, it becomes -4 times -1, which is 4, plus 5 is 9. 0 times -4 is 0, plus 5 is 5. And 1 times -4 is -4, plus 5 is 1. Then we'll graph -1, 9, 0, 5, and 1, 1. Draw your line. Put arrows at the end. Number 4, x equals -4 is a vertical line through all the points where x is -4. It is not the dot. There are many places where x is -4, so it should look like a vertical line. And y equals 1. There are many locations where the y is 1. It looks like a horizontal line. You need to know this for the rest of the year. In this one, you had to graph using the given domain, and the given domain was x is greater than or equal to 0. So when you choose x's, you don't want to choose any negative numbers. You want to choose 0 and positive numbers. When x is 0, y is 3. When x is is 1, -5 plus 3 is -2. And when x is 2, -10 plus 3 is -7. When we graph it, we get 0, 3, 1, -2, 2, -7, 3, 4, 6, 7. And when we draw the line, we cannot draw it into the territory where x is less than 0. So we must put a dot here and stop. And so the range of this function, y are all values where y is less than or equal to 3. All right, to find the x-intercept, we're going to let y be 0. If we plug in 0 for y, we get 9x equals 162. 9 goes into 16 one time with 7 left over, and into 72 8 times. So the x-intercept is 18. On this one, to find the x and y-intercepts, we could let x be 0. When x is 0, we get -3y equals 24. So y would have to equal -8. And then we can let y be 0, and when that's the case, we get -8x equals 24, and x is -3. 0, -8 is go below on the y-axis. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And -3, 0. Plot your 2 points, draw your line, add your arrows. To find the slope, we subtract the y's, so I will say 9 minus 9. And then in the denominator, I will say 3 minus a -5. 9 minus 9 is 0. 3 minus -5 is 3 plus 5 or 8, and this equals 0. On number 10, I'll say 4 minus a negative 5 divided by 5 minus 3. This becomes 4 plus 5 or 9. 5 minus 3 is 2. Number 11 is negative 3 minus negative 3 divided by negative 3 minus negative 1. Negative 3 minus negative 3 is 0. Negative 3 and 1 is negative 2. This equals 0. The formula for finding the slope of a line is y sub 2 minus y sub 1 divided by x sub 2 minus x sub 1. To find the slope and y-intercept on this equation, we need to isolate the y, so I will add 9x to both sides, and I get 3y equals 9x plus 54. I then divide everything by 3, and I get y equals 3x plus 18. The slope is 3, the y-intercept is 18. To write this equation in slope-intercept form, I would first subtract the 5x from both sides, and I would get negative 2y minus 7 equals negative 5x. Then if I add 7 to both sides, I would get negative 2y equals negative 5x. Oops. Negative 5x plus 7. And then if I subtract everything by negative 2, I get y equals a positive 5 halves x minus 7 halves. Over here, follow the same directions. If you subtract 4x from both sides and add the 2 to both sides, you get this. The slope is negative 4. Oh, no, it's not, because I'm not quite done here. Wait a minute. That's the opposite of y, so everything has to change signs, and I get y equals positive 4x minus 2. So the slope is 4, and the y-intercept is negative 2. I'll go down and put a dot on negative 2, and then I'll rise 4 and run 1, and there is my line. 16 and 17 were tricky. They were both asking the same thing. It wants you to find x, so do not put 48 in place of x. Put 48 in place of the function, and you are looking for the x. Here we'll subtract 16 from both sides, so negative 4x equals 32, and x equals negative 8. This one is the same type of problem. We'll put the negative 16 in place of the function. We'll subtract 4 from both sides, and we get negative 21 equals 3x, so x equals negative 7. Number 18 was the same as the previous problem, and the second part was y equals mx plus b. On this one, the soda cans, the supply went down. They were refilled around after 10, and then it started going down again. The domain of this function, look at the x values, and you could put that x is greater than or equal to 0 and less than or equal to 8. And when you look at the y values, the y is between approximately 60 and 250.